Welcome, Alec, to the Islands of Fire, Survivor Vanuatu. Episode 7 is here.
Where's the fire, man? Where's the fire? We got more fire, more spooks.
We've all
I'm
got a
looking for the
fire in
spooks.
us waiting to be awakened. You know, and some for some people it comes alive out there on the island. They feel like that's where it should be.
It's true. It's true. You know, I don't know. It was all in my head. Just all in my head. Just so many skulls. Too many. I thought spooky. And then the first episode, it was like, oh, we're getting like some like kind of tribal, maybe some voodoo stuff. No.
Yeah, when you brought up that idea in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I guess that's an idea, but I don't remember Vanuatu being actually surprisingly spooky. You know.
I think it's a good idea. Hopefully, maybe in the future. Hopefully, in the future they'll do something like that. I think it could be fun. There were elements of it in the first season, particularly like when they had to like ravage that haunted house that was the most lame reward challenge ever.
Right.
You brought back the wrong person's. No, it wasn't. It was also a terrible challenge.
You know what scared me? Never mind.
What? Okay. Well, I tell you what didn't scare me. Well, actually, she does kind of scare me. It's Amy. Amy's got control of that tribe.
Amy, I would do whatever she asked me to do. I mean,
she's got me. I guess, yeah.
She's got me. She's
so
an alpha.
Lisa's out of the last episode.
She's not just the last episode. She's out of the season. She was voted out. And Lisa, she was not out of the. She said she was out of the last episode. She won't be in this episode either, though. So Lisa, she made that comment offhand around Amy, where she's like, "Oh, you should show me, just in case, you know." And Amy's like, "What? Why would I need to show you? Just in case what?" So she had to go. She had to go, suggesting the possibility that she could be voted out.
That's it. That's a crack already. That's disloyalty. Yeah.
And Rory had a very impassioned. He himself said it was a corny speech.
It was great. I loved it. Rory makes his cheesy case, and it was a great moment. It was really great.
Yeah, I thought Rory was awesome in this episode. Like, he really came alive. And he was living his best life over there on the women's tribe.
He was probably the best. In fact, probably the best person in the whole episode, except we did have Julie, who decided to go sunbathing, and that was kind of
fun. Julie took the cake with the cake.
With some cake, indeed. There was quite a bit there. It was great.
There was some pig wrestling. That was a challenge.
Yep. Wrangling some pigs. It was like Wind Waker all over again.
Mm-hmm. Eliza didn't want any part of it. Did not contribute at all, really.
Nope. So Amy's like, all right, well, shut up and stop making excuses.
But then Leanne blew the second challenge, the immunity challenge. But then ultimately it didn't really amount to anything. It came down to Lisa just on that whim. So if Lisa didn't make that comment, I don't know where it would have gone. If it would have been Rory anyway, or if he would have found someone else. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say.
Eliza was floating, or like Scout was saying she'd be willing to vote Eliza, and Eliza's expressed that she'd rather Scout wasn't there. So
yeah,
who knows?
But nothing seemed to have floated that way, and it ended up being Lisa getting the short end of the stick. So Rory stuck around because of that a little bit.
So we're 6 episodes have passed. We're 7th episode in. When's the merge? Do we have one more round in us, or do we have it?
I mean, I think that is the real question of the hour. I think probably next episode. I don't necessarily know if it'll happen this episode. They didn't really tease it. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know.
6 people voted out, so we're down to 10, right? That's merge numbers. That's merge numbers potentially.
It is merge numbers.
It's like 7 on the jury, 2 in the final 2, and then 1 that doesn't make the jury in the merge. We could be there. I don't know.
We could be at the merge this episode, maybe.
But they mix things up. They mix things up sometimes. Usually not too drastically from what we've seen. Like, it'll be 1 or 2 off. Like, they might cut out the extra jury member, or they'll add an extra whatever.
Yeah, I never said merge.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about a merge. You big dumb idiot.
Yeah, so. you big dumb.
So we'll see, though. We've only did one round after the swap, so I would guess there's at least one more.
Yeah, I would think one more because it would just if it's just after a swap and then immediately emerge, it seems really weird.
Yeah, I mean you mix up the dynamics a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, you would have. Well, no, we did do two. We did 2 rounds. That's right.
I guess we did.
Because Rory survived one, being the lone guy there. So maybe we're there.
It's possible.
Because you would have thought like that's the problem with swapping. Sometimes you have the number like so heavily in one favor. So like Rory and Bubba were kind of screwed at that point. You know, it's like it was going to be one of them, and you would have thought Rory would follow, but luckily he's gotten by so far.
That's right. So.
All right. So if you want to see the highlights of our reaction, click the link in the description, and then come back afterwards for the discussion. Okay.
Yeah. See you then.
So John just endorsed Chris. He said, "Chris, I hope you get first. Sarge, I hope you get second." All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
All right. Well, we got the boring lamos out of the way finally.
I know.
So.
I think. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's kind of beautiful how it's turned out. I mean, we feel like we have a solid cast left now. I feel like John was the last of like the one.
I think
everybody else has something to offer. Well,
Chad's a little
kind of a Chad.
Yeah, he's kind of boring, but he's been more interesting in the last couple of episodes. So
he's a gimmick.
He's a gimmick. What is that supposed to mean? Because he has a prosthetic leg.
We all know why he's there. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. All right, we all. We
know how they positioned him on that tree for that confessional.
John.
Yeah,
right, well, here we go.
He puts his other leg up. No, could you just switch legs?
You just switch legs, all right? It's like, well, it doesn't work like that. Like, oh no, we need to just like put the leg.
Ooh, it is hot in here. Let me tell you. Anyway,
that
was episode 7 of Survivor Vanuatu.
It sure was, and let me tell you,
pretty good.
Yeah,
stuff.
It was a good episode. That was a fun episode. There's Rory
loving life.
Rory's living his best life over there. He was feeling a little discouraged. He was lifted up. He's got every reason to be upset when he is, and I think he's just but he's still kind of getting along, hanging in there. I like it. He came to like Amy and Leanne and was like, "Look, you stop treating me like I'm a second-class citizen." And they were like, "No." They just were straight up like, "No."
They're like, "Well, it's kind of tough, the whole man and woman thing." I mean,
and he was like, "I don't have an alliance over there. They don't like me." And they're like, "Well, tough squash." And it was like, "Okay, cool."
Like he technically does, but I mean,
and he was like, "I'm gonna do the slash and burn approach," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?"
But once they won the challenge, they got them the home cafe. His wife talked him down from it.
Yeah, his wife through a letter. His wife talked him down. Like she's like, "Don't lose your temper. Think about things." And it was like, "Oh, that's really great."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Happy Rory is good Rory." Yeah, seeing Rory with that smile, man.
Yeah,
what a sunshiny day.
Rory's got he brings great energy to it. That's why I feel like the cast is pretty solid this season.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everybody brings a unique energy and a unique perspective. Like if you just look at all the different like walks of life, you got Sarge, Scout, Twyla, Eliza. Like these are all wildly different.
Very different people. Amy, super different from all of them. Yeah. It's kind of great. Julie, of course.
Yeah, the sequel is coming. The
sequel is apparently coming. Yeah.
Sarge is going all out.
Sarge is bearing it all on TV.
So it was basically looked like it was going to be Rory next to go for sure. So he powered through, won that competition for them. Basically dominated the slingshot.
Yeah. Slingshot shuffle is what I called it, and he really did. He really did a good job. I thought he did. That was great.
When he needed it the most.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Julie. There's a Julie and Twyla subplot going on here.
Yeah. So Twyla. Well, Twyla. They were talking about. So Julie was like, "Did they bring you in for a Final Four deal?" And then Twyla was like, "Do they bring you in for a Final Four deal?" And they just kept saying it back and forth. And I guess they just came to this agreement, an unspoken agreement that okay, they both have Final Four deals.
Yeah.
But then Julie's like, "No, they never made a Final Four deal with me." But now she's not with them fully. She's over with me more.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting little play.
It's definitely the play. Like, I could see from Julie's perspective, if you think she has a Final Four deal with them, then you're definitely the one on the outs.
So Rory dominates. I did say Amy still wants him gone. She's just like, it was nice that he won, but he can be cocky, but it's like he's still going home.
She tells it like it is. She's like,
she's
makes
really
no difference to me.
Like,
she'll go next. He'll go next. Though she talked about how women's alliances have never lasted. So that's a big deal.
She did make that. That was a big deal. It was kind of early on where they said that, but I mean, you say that you just got rid of.
They did get rid of Lisa last time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess they're saying that as long as they have the numbers of women, then at least all women could make it to the end.
Yeah, but it's like, no, you're gonna question my leadership. Boom, you're gone. Boom, get him out.
I don't want that woman in my women alliance.
Yeah.
Get that out of here.
So.
I want all the women to fall in line.
That's very true. So we wanted to mention. So we were talking about before, maybe looking at merge, but then I think it was numbers are a little different.
I was doing the numbers wrong because I was doing it for like 16.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's possible.
It's still possible. Maybe
the next round for sure could be. Because this was episode 7.
Yeah.
They will be down to 10 next time, so that would be. And they did say things are about to shake up, and they didn't show anything else. So they made it seem like someone was gonna die or something.
Yeah,
but
it's like something gets a head. Well, he said something about a head or something, and he like stabbed the ground. I was like, is he stabbing a head?
It's just merge. It's a merge.
Yeah, just a merge. It's probably it's very likely.
Maybe there's something spicy.
Maybe Daw's gonna show up, and he's gonna pick the
Daw will show up and choose someone to leave the game.
Daw choose someone to leave the game and enter the game as a survivor.
You'll each have the day to spend with Da, so let's try to win him over.
Can you imagine? It's an immunity challenge where they all versus Da. It's like all of them versus Da in a challenge.
What if every challenge in the season was that? It's like if Da wins, no one gets immunity.
It's like they're like Bowser mini games. Then it's like everyone versus nobody wins except for Bowser.
It's like when they had the challenge where the jury competed against them. The jury won, that no one got immunity. But now it's if Da wins every immunity, no one gets immunity.
Da always wins.
Da on a winning streak.
Yeah. That's Da jumping off the thing at the beginning. That's why they have it at the beginning. It's just Da. He's jumping off.
Still gonna give Da all the credit in the world for that intro shot.
All right, CBS, you hear this? Contact Da. I'm hope he's still around. This is 15 years.
I don't know what Da's up to right now,
but make it happen.
Let's get it. You think he's on Cameo? All right.
I don't think so. That's awesome.
Still doesn't speak English.
No.
He's just like. Awesome. Anyway, so then it came down to the whole conversation between like Chris and John, Chris and Chad. They were having conversations going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure I quite understand what went on here. Like, I mean, I know that they've been wanting to get rid of John because he's lazy. He's kind of a weak link.
And he's a young one, so they were always kind of at odds with him because they're the old guys.
Yeah, but it's still like...
But somehow something that they did, Julie and Twyla, they worked some magic where... I
mean, Julie did
buy in.
Show them her...
Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it.
I mean, there's probably an element of it, right? It's just like having someone attractive to look at on... I mean, John Kay wasn't like unattractive, but it wasn't a lady though.
I don't think that would determine a vote, but
I don't think so either. I'm just posing it as a possibility.
Twyla seems to have really worked herself into that fold though. It's like she's one of the guys now.
Yeah, her and Sarge seem to have a pretty good dynamic, but like honestly, they all seem to really like her.
And like in that Final Four thing, maybe that Sarge worked her in there.
Yeah.
So she might actually value that alliance somewhat, but Julie, we haven't really seen it so much, but she seems to also found her way in there some way because she was like would have been their choice out of the women to go, but she still did something to convince them that she was not with the women all the way.
It's weird because it's like they seem to be going off of, well, they got rid of Lisa, so it can't be all women alliance there. There's got something going on there. It's like, yeah, there is a little something going on there, but it's not really that it's not all women. And it's interesting because it's like it's we have a more omniscient perspective, so we kind of have that they don't, and it's like
so they only go off of those little things they say.
They are in a really tough position there, so they do have to kind of make assessments. But like, I don't know if I would necessarily. I don't know if I would have read into it as much there because like it's still like even if there was something that went on there that they couldn't predict. To me, it still puts you in a far more vulnerable position to take the chance that Julie is not going to just join them. You know, I don't know.
Pure numbers game is very risky. I'm actually
very
writing
risky
it down. What are we at? 6-4 now?
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we have Chad. Yeah, because we have Chad, Sarge, Chris,
Sarge, and Rory. That's it.
That's it.
Damn.
That's super risky. I don't know how I.
So that was literally the swing. If they voted out a woman, you'd be 5-5 going into the merge, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I could
so they
come back to bite them here.
They I know they got to bank on their relationships here because it's like,
I mean,
like, Rory's provider role. He literally saved them last time. He's gonna bank that, and like the Sarge and Twilight relationship have got to be like a big thing.
But they don't seem to have value Rory that much.
Rory, they don't. I don't know.
So they're gonna stick to the all women thing. They got the numbers to do it.
Yeah.
And the only thing is to hope like Twyla will work with those few men as opposed to just sticking with women. That's what they have to hope, at least, or whatever relationships Julie formed there. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on exactly.
Very risky. Very risky.
Yeah.
It literally could be a big swing there.
Well,
having 5 and 5, it's a toss up at that point. It could still lean the other way, but
that one vote, they're like, well, that doesn't mean loyalties. That's just like that. Loyalties don't mean the same thing. But it's like, it's so hard. It's like they have such a limited perspective. But it's like, can you make that much of a jump just by one vote?
Well, I guess it came down to somehow Chad was convinced that Julie
is loyal. Yeah, Julie would vote for us.
She said, I wouldn't, if I can 100% trust that she'll be with us, then I'll vote that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wanted John to stay. And I think, it seems like John would have been the one you want around because he was loyal. He even said at the end, he was like, I wouldn't have betrayed them. And they could have easily picked him off later if they were able to tip the numbers in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just stuck with it, kept him around, and then
But they
then
literally
you have more strength to maybe turn the table on Amy, who's clearly the leader of that sort of group. So
it's just within this swapped period, Julie has formed more of a relationship with them than like they trust her more than John, you know. So if they're to them, it's like they're forgetting, like, okay, it's not about men and women anymore. Thinking pure alliances. Somehow, Julie's made more of an impression than John, you know. And John, just being at odds with them for most of the game.
But he was still voting with them, like most of the time. Like it's just kind of wild. Like I don't know. So we'll have to see how this plays out. It is interesting. I think this is a strategically confusing, but maybe that's making it more. I think that could make it more interesting because, like, who knows where it's going to go now?
This will be a point to look back on for sure. If one way or the other, like this was a big mistake, or okay, they knew what they were doing here, and trusting that. So it's really interesting.
We'll have to see.
Who would you award the MVP to?
Rory.
Rory.
Rory was freaking on point this episode. What champion. John K, get out of here. You're done. You're done, son.
No MVPs for you.
You were vanilla AF, all right? You were just some other young white guy, And
so I do. My guess would be that the merge is next. In which case, we'll do the power rankings after that. Once that episode hits and it's the merge, we can start doing the power rankings.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching. Next week, more Survivor Vanuatu, baby. It's getting juicy. A lot of great characters and.
It was juicy this episode. They kept telling it coconut juice.
A lot of juices flowing and all over the place.
All over. Just.
What video would you recommend our viewers watch after watching this one?
Well, you should just go back and check out our episode. You know what? You check out our new Survivor simulation. Check it out.
Tarqaron All-Stars 2?
Yeah, check it out.
So yeah, if you don't know, it's a Brant Steele simulation we did with a bunch of characters from things we reviewed on the channel.
Yeah.
So all over the place, runs the gamut of wacky characters.
It is, and it was a lot of fun. Some wild and crazy turns once again. So have to go see it. Go see it. It's fun. We always have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to our podcast feed. Like the video. Leave a comment. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Like us on Facebook at Tarqaron TWO.
Yeah.
All right.